Um, I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing. Good morning, everyone. Something happened then. Something went wrong. It wouldn't actually play my intro. And also, I don't have a guest. What's Michael Griffiths doing here? Yeah, I don't have a guest. She hasn't turned up. So that's okay. Maybe there's a reason. I've got Jan here. Jan, you're there. Can you just tell me, can you hear me for a start? Just want to double check you can hear me. So somebody just came in on the stream and then left. I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right place and everything. I'm going to try again because the intro didn't work, and I'm just going to see if I can play it. Because hey, let's just see. We can start again. Well, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. We've missed the intro. I'm an earthworm. No, it's not working. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's what. But what am I going to do? I'm going to talk to myself for an hour, or I'm going to talk to somebody else. Is there anybody that would like to actually come on and just be spontaneous here? This is a show about, it's about vibrant people. It's about people who live grounded, live to the beat of their own drum. Why did I even start Earthworm Woman? Maybe I'll just talk, blabber on, and hope that people can, number one, hear me. Oh, there we go. Yes, you can hear me. Okay. I'll just talk about, I guess I'll talk about the essence and the thing behind the Earthworm Woman idea. And I don't know where Fiona is. I've called her. Maybe I got mixed up. Just 1 second. I've got to take this call. Hi. I'm on the show. Are you okay? So there's actually Michael Griffiths. Don't understand why he just called me. Where did Earthworm Woman come from? I've always been. Would anyone like to join? Just out of interest, anybody out there? Because I can just send you the link. I've always been interested in health. Always, ever since I can really remember, I've just been that way inclined. I'll talk to the camera, and just in case this is a message to do with what's going on, I'm just going to have a look at that. No guest. No intro. There you go. Ever since I can remember, I've always been interested in health, and I don't even know why that is. I suppose people do come at things like this from perhaps something that's happened to them, and there was an unhealthy thing that happened to me, which probably pushed me as far as food wise. It's not funny. Don't laugh, Anna. It's not funny at all. Um, Look, I can either cancel this or I can just talk to myself for a bit and hope that maybe somebody who's a regular, Jan Murphy, might want to just come on and join me for a chat. Yeah. So I've always been interested in health, as I said, and more importantly, of what's in things. Diane, Diane, what about you, Diane? Would you like to come on? Um, because this is not going to be. I can't sit here and talk about myself. It's just going to be a bit boring, to be honest. What I might talk about though is where we are at the moment, and um, like this morning, you can't. I've already called her. She's in Indonesia. Um, yeah. Okay, you can laugh. I'm not saying you can't laugh. Laughing is good. Let's talk about where we are now, because this morning I went out down to the beach, and there was a beautiful sky. There was a red, incredible sky. And in the last few days, the last weeks, whatever, we're in winter here. Talk about myself. We're in winter here, and it's bloody cold. And it was cold today, but there was something in the atmosphere. There was an energy, a real positivity, um, and and I thought maybe there's lots of things going on in the world at the moment. There's lots of things that we're being told to look at, and of course, I'm not saying things aren't happening, that the actions aren't happening, the incidents aren't happening. Um, but I do believe that there's distractions. And what I try to do myself is just try and live really much in the moment, and in the higher, it's not wanky, but in the kind of the higher, she's working. Okay. In the higher sort of plateau, place, world. I don't know what you call it. Just try not to let all the negatives come in. Try not to be affected by so many things, and hope that you're being looked after, number one, and that you're guided, and that you'll find your way forward, and whatever that is, whatever you have to do. I mean, every day is different, and having this, what I felt this morning with this sky and everything was like, well, it actually felt a bit like spring, even though it's nowhere near spring. Jan, we would love to hear your story. Why don't you come on, Jan? Because Jan is, she's actually the longest running Cafe Locked Out follower. She really is. She's been here. Fiona's in the waiting room, but she's not in the waiting room. Have I sent her the wrong link? Oh my goodness. Hang on. Sorry, maybe I've just botched everything up today. Who said she's in the waiting room? Okay. This doesn't get. Just bear with me for a second. I'm just going to. Internet's ridiculously slow. Ridiculously bad. just going to send her this link in case she's gone into an old link or something. All right. She said she's in the waiting room, so we will get Fiona. Hopefully that's working. We're only 20 minutes in. That's insane. Oh no, 10 minutes. It is one of those days. Well, it's not though. I started off, it was a really positive day. It was a very I felt really good, a very good vibe in the air. So I've just sent her another invite. So hopefully she'll come in now. Does that. What can we talk about? Jan, can you come in, please? I'm gonna stop it and start it again, maybe, because I'm not sure I can do this way. What the fuck issues? No, here she is. Hi. I can't hear you there.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
it says.
Are you on your
okay.
phone or a
Yeah,
laptop?
I'm on my phone. Hang on a second. Let me try this.
Gosh.
No,
Okay, well, she is here.
I am here. Hold on. I'm
So
going to turn
sorry. Well, anyway, she's here. So we'll be talking about her stuff because I really was just talking about how beautiful the sky was this morning. I was talking about being positive, living in just going with trying to be in the better space and not be distracted by the world and this and that and all the stuff that we're supposed to be watching.
Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear Fiona.
Jesus.
You can hear Fiona. Okay.
Yeah, and I can hear.
Let's
I
have a
can
look.
hear you.
Everybody can hear Fiona, but I can't. So I've probably got the technical issues. Why can't I hear you? That's really strange. Anyway, well, hi.
Rohanna,
You
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Well, then it doesn't matter if I can't hear. What would you? Let's talk about where you're at, and they can hear you, and I'll just try and judge it. Try and pick up what you're saying. Where are you at? Because she's still in Indonesia, and she's doing this human garage,
the coaching program,
human garage course,
mm-hmm.
connecting up with what you've been doing. So go ahead. Meanwhile, I'll try and work out what on earth's going on here.
Good morning, everyone. I've been in another waiting room, wherever that is, but I'm in all good, and I've just finished my course, and I just have one video to make for them. But oh my God, it's before I started doing this, I thought I knew about fascia work because I've been working with it for about 5, 6, 7 years. But this is a whole different ballgame. It's even the science doesn't appear to have caught up with it yet, but the results have. So what we're looking at with the fascia well, actually, fascia came first, and within that, in embryo, bones and muscles and organs and everything developed. And what appears to happen is every sickness, every pain starts with emotion that gets stuck somewhere. So,
I can hear, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, good. An extreme version of that is trauma. And what these guys have discovered is how to reset the body. And it's spiraling and moving pressure. And I'm just losing my voice now. It's spiraling and moving pressure. And it is amazing, really, really simple and amazing. So the idea is to teach people to fix themselves, and it's remarkably fast. and effective.
That's why he's always turning. So is that's what you're talking about with the spiraling?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what they're
Ah,
talking about is, in yoga, if we were going to twist, we
mm,
would push against the leg and we would turn. Everything's going in the same direction and as long as possible. In the
yep.
fascia maneuvers, the leg would go left, the body would go right, and the head's going left. So basically, what we've done is you've taken a balloon, like a kid's balloon at a party, and you turn this bit and you turn that bit, and you've got
Mm,
three equal pressure zones. And now you do something to this bit at the head, and it has an effect on the rest. And when you undo it, it goes, and everything within reconfigures.
mm,
Well, we're like that. So the fascia is, 70 to 80% water. So the fourth stage of water, it's actually a gel with everything floating in it. And what it does is it's extremely intelligent and it is responding all the time to support you. So when you're sitting in a hunched position all the time, it will tighten within that to help you stay there.
mm,
When you are injured, whether it be emotionally or physically, it will tighten to protect you from pain. And because we don't really know how to undo it, or we haven't known how to undo it, we kind of call it the aging process. People get shorter and tighter and so on with
mm,
age, but it's got nothing to do with that.
yep.
So, combination of knowing how to feed the fascia and heal it, and that's really like adding silica and water and minerals, um, and this winding process, but with the idea of moving pressure, things shift remarkably fast. It's the wildest thing. It's so fast. It's like, oh my god, did that actually happen? You feel like you've gone into a magical realm that almost can't exist, but it
Wow.
does.
Wow, that does
Yeah.
sound good. When you say moving pressure, so that's the pressure is in the
Okay, so
twisting.
we're a pressure system. Okay,
Mm,
so we have a certain pressure inside the body, which is working in relationship with the pressure outside the body. Now, for a normal, healthy body, we don't really notice it until we go to a high altitude. And then we're sort of going, oh, and when you're in an
mm,
aeroplane, so the pressure has changed, right?
yep.
But if you were somebody that had, POTS or some of these things that go along with some diseases, you can have an issue with pressure that's okay for you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if we think that the body is always reconfiguring itself to pressure. Now let's go back to that balloon. So in my balloon, I have developed a major contraction here. Maybe I was in a car accident and something went and held, or maybe I had an emotional thing that went there. But now I've got a bit of my energy twisted and tight and sort of crystallized. It's not
Mm,
moving, right? Well, it doesn't really respond well to deep tissue massage or manipulation. Reason being that neither of those things actually, well, one hurts the fascia, and the fascia is soft like the brain. And so, although it might give in for a moment, it's going to go back to that shape it's been holding for a long time. And that's the reason why, you can go to your physio, your massage therapist, or whatever, you get some relief, but pretty soon you're exactly back where you were before. And when you
mm,
manipulate bones, you're not actually changing the cellophane wrap that it is within. See,
mm,
muscles themselves don't get tight. Okay, so if you took a muscle away from the body, in no position is it tight. What
mm-hmm.
is tight about that is the wrapping and the fascia that also goes through it. So it's the fascia that holds the structure and holds the tightness. And there are ways, very gentle, intuitive ways of working with breath and movement, and we can just undo something that's been there forever or a short
Mm.
time. So it's
So
wild.
someone's just asking here, Sandy, is there a possibility this helps with cancers, specifically breast, prostate, or bone cancer?
Okay, so I believe yes, but I can't tell you Absolutely. I just know that within this community of people that are doing this work, people are healing from many things. But let's just thinking on the level of the fascia in the body. Okay, so when, let's say there's thyroid, like I had Hashimoto's, I said, but I don't have any symptoms, and I'm just getting better and better and better. But if you were going to work on helping to reset, you do the whole body. But for the thyroid, you would put your hand here. You would pull the skin, which is the fascia, up. You would take the hand behind. Now you're consciously breathing into that space. So I'm breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, and in and out. So I'll do 3 to 6 of them. Then I would also add an affirmation, which is, it is okay for me to speak my truth. I am ready to speak my truth. So whether my brain believes it, my body is hearing it. So I've got the breath is my therapist. The slow movement is the only way that you can work with fascia, because otherwise it goes, I meant to protect her, him. And the and intention is really powerful. So a physiotherapist doing the same work, or kind of doing this, working on the same place, is going to get a different result to people that are coming from my world, because we're looking at this whole energetic, alive structure and allowing it to reconfigure rather than controlling it. We're not beating the fascia into submission with deep tissue stuff. We're softly allowing it to unwind. And it's quite a remarkable difference.
I'm sure you have said this before, and maybe when Anna's asking, what is fascia? What does it actually
Okay.
mean?
So
Yeah.
fascia is the connective tissue. So when we were in the womb, fascia came first, right? So there's just these cells. And then within that grew our muscles and our bones and our nervous system and our organs and everything else. The fascia doesn't operate the way we tend to work with the body when we're doing yoga or physio or whatever. We kind of work in straight lines, don't we? It's all lengthened straight lines, but the body actually spirals. And when you think about dance, or you think about walking or swimming, we cross crawl, right? And the body actually resets itself in that movement. But the most productive reset is the embryo position. So in embryo, I've got my feet crossed. I'm in here, I've got my head to one side. And in this position, this is my reset. So in the fascia maneuvers that are, basically working through, we call it 10 organs, but we count the thyroid as an organ, or as part of that. But as we work through the 10 organs, they'll be associated through the meridians with a particular part of the body, and we reset. And how we do it, if you can't go all the way into a deep squat, which is the most natural position for the human body, but we're living in a pretty unnatural world, you'd go as deep as you can, and then you will be holding that position or moving gently in that position as you breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And with the breath, what you're experiencing is the body expands and softens. I think about like seaweed being underwater. And then when you stop and you come out, you reassess, how am I now? And it's quite remarkable what happens. Like, if people will go, oh my God, my lower back is better. Oh, but now I hurt behind the knee. And you've got to try and help people get rid of this concept of pain as much as you can, and think more the concept of pressure. So when we've moved this, it's probably going to go somewhere else, right? And we keep on going with it until we release. So, often the final place will be to release from the head. because we've kept on moving pressure. And look, it sounds wild, doesn't it? But at the same time, I do these 2 free classes a week
Yeah, I was going to
in
say they have to
chairs.
try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I did 2 classes where, we're not standing, and you don't have to go into deep squat because I'm doing it for people that really can't do that stuff. But you get the idea of what we're doing and how we're moving the pressure, and what the effect is, because it's working really effectively with people that have zero flexibility or a lot of pain in their bodies, and so I'll give you the link to those
Yeah. So that's
classes.
tomorrow and Friday. Unfortunately, I can't do
Mhm.
tomorrow, but I might try and do Friday. I was going to say, when you've been sitting for a long time, or obviously
Mhm.
sleeping, and you get up, and it takes a little while for sometimes to kind of everything needs to sort of be back into its position. Is that kind of connected to what you're talking about there as well? Is that just the
Yeah.
body's gone to sleep, or
No, what it is sitting in a chair is incredibly unnatural. All right.
Mm,
Although we've been doing it for generations and it's getting more so, it's incredibly unnatural. We're meant to give birth, sit around and do transactions and eat in squat, basically. Okay. And, one of the healthiest things we can do is gradually get to a place where we can squat and do it for a period of time every day. But for some people, it's going to take a while because there's so much undoing to get there. But if we're sitting all the time, what happens is from the rib cage down, basically the whole back of the thighs, all of this fascia is contracted. But the way it contracts, because it's the 4th stage of water, so it's like a gel, it's made of the same structure as a quartz crystal. So it's mostly what is it? It's going to come back in a second. It's there's a mineral, and I'll come out with the word in a moment.
mm,
But there's, it's got the same quality. Now, it can contract and crystallize through dehydration. Now, dehydration does not mean you haven't drunk enough water. It can mean that you are demineralized. You haven't got, because think about water coming down a stream, right? So, what the water does in its natural environment, which is not coming out of a tap, is it goes across rocks, it picks up minerals. Then we, in our natural state, would drink that, and now we've got healthy water, right? Well, what's happening now is the water coming out of the tap is so toxic and full of things that aren't very good for you that a lot of people are drinking filtered water, and they're not getting any minerals. Guess what? Water's going through the body, picking up minerals and taking them out. So we're actually getting more demineralized, not just by
oh,
the farming practices, not
mm,
putting more minerals into the soil and over farming and so on and so forth, but also because of that. So what's
mm.
advised is Celtic salt, because it's got 84 minerals, and they're
So
like little trace minerals, but we need like half a teaspoon to a teaspoon a day, no matter what they tell you. And you can put a little bit in each glass of water as you
mm.
go, and that will make a big
Was it
difference.
sulfur you're thinking about? Sulfur?
Celtic salt.
No,
No, I
no,
wasn't thinking
before
about.
no.
Oh, I'm thinking about. God, I've gone blank.
Colloidal minerals? No,
I'm
they're all
thinking
joining.
about diatomaceous earth and
Yeah.
what it's made out of. And what it
Mm.
is made out of starts with S, and I can't get it out of my mouth right at the moment. I'm going, shit, what
Ah.
is it? It's going to come back. Anyway,
So,
no, I'm going to
so
tell you.
yeah, Joe, you were on the thing there about the salt thing, yes. But Anna's saying so it's not arthritis.
They
You, I
put an
think.
ice. They put an itis on anything that's uncomfortable. And basically, the majority of us have too much inflammation in the body.
Mm.
So that causes some of the itises. And then, we demineralized and so on and so forth. But it's like when you free up the fascia, um,
Silica.
people, yes, that's it. Thank you, thank you,
So,
thank you.
Patricia, you won.
Yeah. So when you free up the body, suddenly that pain can disappear. I went with somebody the other day, and she had she'd had 3 bulging discs about 5 years ago,
Mm,
and but she still around here everybody rides motorbikes except me, so she'd
mm,
still wear a brace to ride her motorbike, and she'd be doing yoga carefully. So
mm.
we did a session with some of this really simple stuff, and her body just suddenly freed itself, so it was suddenly not holding the pattern that had been caused by the trauma. And I had a very similar experience in that 4 years ago I broke a bone in my wrist, and when I came out of a brace I couldn't straighten my arm and I couldn't fully straighten my hand.
Mm.
I rehabbed it because I'm good at that stuff. But when I started doing the fascia stuff for that, oh my God, I had to make sound. um, it was deep. It wasn't so much painful as it almost made me feel sick. And, as I once I'd released this stuff that I didn't know was there, I literally had to lie down for a while. And I
Wow.
did, the next day and the next day. And then finally it was free. It was
Mm.
really, really wild.
Wow. No, I mean, it's probably similar but different there. I fell on my hand once, and one of my fingers was like that, and
Mm,
something like that. Yeah, like I don't know. It wouldn't go straight,
wouldn't strength.
and I thought, oh, that as I go, that's that how it's going to be. But I thought, no, and I just kept massaging it, massaging it, massaging it, and it eventually, after weeks, was straight. And look, fine.
Exactly. Exactly, but I think with this one, because it'd been a car accident, I think what was coming out at the time was a story. It's this
Mm,
different level. This pain is a level. So think emotion, but it's meant to be in emotion, like the weather. So that we've got so many concepts of what are acceptable emotions to express, but they're all acceptable to express if they don't hurt anybody else.
mm,
And it is said that other than grief, which can take longer, the rest of them only really need, I don't know where they get the number from, but 90 seconds of expression. And then they've kind of been utilized and they flow through. But we have this
wow.
society of judgment, whether it's our own judgment or our tribe's judgment, and these parts get split from us on one level. On
Mm.
another level, they get held in the body, they get held in the fascia. And
We'll, we'll go to the water people in a minute in the Celtic song. I was just going to say, again, I don't know if this is connected at all, but I do role play work, and I haven't done it for a long time, but I did physios sometimes, which I found so boring. But anyway, um, but if I really was unwell and I was one of those people, I would it's very like you were talking about the connection. It felt so disconnected. Come on, you've got to have to do this now. You have to do this. You have to do this. You have to walk up these stairs, even though, I often was playing stroke patients and it was really slow,
Mhm.
but it was just commands, do this, do that. And and often if those pretend people had strokes and things, it's from an accident, or a stroke is an accident of sorts. But so it's a sort of what you're talking about there. It's like they've just taken it on a physical thing and not connected it
Yeah,
to anything else.
what I noticed was, I'd even go so far as a lot of the psychology thing. If you focused on deep relaxation first with any of these things,
Hmm.
the physical pain or whatever, you get a totally different result. So you've got a lot of functional therapists that are working on the function of the body, and that's their focus, but not the cause. So it's some people will
Hmm.
have a car accident and walk away, and it's water off a duck's back.
Hmm.
Some we'll all get bitten by mosquitoes, but is it really true that just one person fluked the dengue mosquito, or is it that on the level of terrain or emotional something they were more vulnerable? I don't really know, but I do
Oh,
feel very strongly that, just total acceptance and a focus on relaxing deeply, which is not our culture's focus,
yeah.
would make every pain, emotional or physical, a hell of a lot easier to deal with. But we brace against it. We hold like
Mm.
this.
See if Anna's got a good comment there for you. She's absolutely understanding it now. See, that's what it's good to get you back on a few times, because it is a little bit complex, but it's not
Oh,
from the
look,
outside. Yeah,
I've embodied it a lot more now.
yeah.
Like, how I was talking then, I think I was 3 to 4 weeks in, and, I had
Mm,
some background in this sort of work, and I thought I knew things. Well, on this end, I know much less.
mm.
I'm a hell of a lot more excited. And, but the enormity and the possibilities are just wild. It's really wild. So, yeah, I believe you can cure yourself of anything. So
Mm.
whether it be cancer or ulcerative colitis or what, it doesn't matter what it is. First, you have to have the belief. Then, do I think fascia maneuvers would work by itself? No, because even within that concept, they believe in correct nutrition, and they use positive affirmations and so on. So they're talking to the structure as well, and they're using breath. So, yeah, but as part of your healing, absolutely. I think if you don't move the body,
Mm.
you can't move this stuff through. So, and it's not exercise. You
Mm.
don't get puffed, and you don't feel like, oh, I've got a major workout, tomorrow or whatever it might be. It's not that. This is therapeutic, but it's
Therapeutic. Yeah.
yeah, but it's self therapy, and I think it can be fun, but
Mm.
it's just after a while, like when you first start, there's some exercises that are only one-sided. Why? Because of the way the fascia wraps around the body. Some of them are two-sided, but you know how when you go to a dance class or a yoga class, people are obsessed with, have I got it right? What should I be feeling? So they want to be exactly in alignment with how to get it right. It's not
Mm.
like this, because you and I have brought a different history, and we've got a totally different body. So although what I would be teaching you or coaching you is the real idea is for you to find what works for you within that. It's
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just putting the thing up because I do tap dancing on a Monday night, and sometimes I go exactly that. Oh, I don't. I'm actually don't. I'm not getting. When I actually forget about it and just try and feel it, and actually, it's a different way. It comes much better. I go. I had a really good class. Here's your. I'm just putting that up there for anyone.
Oh, thank you.
So it's tomorrow, and it's Friday. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's
great.
just it's short and sweet. I get on 10 minutes early and talk to people, and I stay on up to half an hour after and talk to people, because I'm so curious about the what particular effects they're having, and what's working for them, and what they understood or didn't understand, because I learn more from that.
Has anyone
So
here actually been on it? Hands up. Any of them? Or they're just like students in the class who go, "Yeah, it looks great, but we don't turn up." I want to find I want, can you tell me can you tell me, this is from Diane, how much and how you take it? Oh, so you're talking about back to Celtic salt, are you?
yes, Celtic
Because we do
sea
need Celtic
salt.
salt.
Oh yeah,
Do we need it
absolutely.
all day long? Because I generally have it in the evening, but I think you probably need it as well in the morning, don't you?
Again, I don't think there's rules, but we do
Mm.
need it. So
Yeah.
this is another one of those things that they've scared us with, you'll have a hypertensive reaction to salt.
Yeah.
It's going to cause high blood pressure. Well, apparently that's possible in less than 10% of people. And I wouldn't
Right.
say they're the healthiest people.
Mm.
And then they turn around and make it all of us, and then people very proudly say, "I have no salt," and wonder why. There's a lot of bad reactions to having not just lack of sodium, but all the minerals that we're missing out on, and the whole
Mm.
focus, even in the um, we've only been talking about vitamins, and recently people are starting to talk about obscure minerals because they didn't know what they were for. So if they didn't know what they were for, they weren't important. Well, it seems they're all important. Um, you could have a warm glass of water at night or in the morning, whatever works for you, and that might
Mm.
do for the day. Some people take a pinch every time they have a glass of water.
Mm.
um, some people have, sweet tooth craving, and it's quite interesting that if you put a bit of Celtic salt under your tongue, that craving appears to disappear.
Mm.
So I don't know what that
She's frozen. Um,
was.
Probably it's me.
It's worth a try.
Someone said, ask the question: is it the pink salt, Himalayan salt? Is that just as good as or Celtic
Yeah.
salts? Got a different.
No, that
Uh,
one is the Himalayan.
hmm. It's not yoga,
Hello,
Anna.
I'm
No,
here.
no, it's not
The
yoga.
pink one is the Himalayan.
Yeah.
No, it's not yoga. It definitely isn't yoga. It's simpler than yoga. It's
Mm.
easier than yoga once you get your head around doing something completely different. In order to approach, for me to approach these fascial maneuvers, I had to clear my mind of everything I thought I knew,
Mm.
because a lot of what I thought I knew didn't work as well as this does. And if you
Mm.
get stuck on, like for example, we believe that the bones hold us up. They're the structure of the body.
Mm.
But the only bones in the body that actually touch the teeth, the the, the teeth, there's something around the rib cage. There's only three lots of bones that actually touch. The rest of them are floating. So they can't actually hold up the body. So what holds
Wow.
up the bones is the fascia.
Wow. They're floating.
So this is a they're floating. And so when the fascia is contorted, what you see, the majority of scoliosis disappear. I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them after a while will
Mm.
disappear, because the majority of those people were not actually born with one leg longer than the other. This is all in the fascia. And what I guess the most important bit is, yes, I can work with people and I can help people,
Mm.
but when you do the work on somebody else as a healer or as a practitioner, the majority of us see those people come back again and again, or give up and keep shopping around for something else.
Mm.
So it doesn't hold. Now, I believe the reason it doesn't hold is because you're not doing it yourself. Because the mind might be in agreement, Fiona or this chiropractor down the road is flavour of the month and they're going to fix me.
Mm.
But until you're actually engaged in your own healing, I don't believe it holds. And if you go back to, you know, original Chinese medicine or Ayurveda or Qigong, what actually happens, Qigong master will do work on your body, take away the pain, help you. But he will set you 3 exercises to do 3 times a day for X period of time. That's your part of doing the medicine. You go
Mm.
to the Chinese doctor and he has prescribed herbs specific to you. But your job is to go to the herbalist, pick them up, boil them up, and take them 3 times a day. Replacing that with tablets is not having you involved in your own healing. And this stuff works I believe, because it brings you into your body, into your experience, and you're doing it. Like, no one's hurting you. They're not inflicting something on you that maybe on some level that you're unconscious of, you're not actually in agreement with. You know, it's you, and you're learning to trust yourself as well.
I think that I would definitely try and do Friday. I can't do tomorrow, but if Anna, you should try it as well. Do you see the other people in the class? Or no, you can turn your camera off, can't they? They could turn their camera if they wanted to.
Yeah, they
If they,
could. I can't see them.
if they don't
Oh,
want to
no,
be
no,
judged,
no. Okay, so when I do you mean when I do the
you'd
class in the
have to
morning?
see them. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I don't see them at all, because
Oh,
I'm doing it all on my phone, is
mm,
number one. And number two, so I'm sitting back in a position that you
mm,
can see my whole body, but now I can't see a thing. But that's not the point. The point is, if you follow my instructions and you look at what I'm doing and you do that to the best of your ability and you listen, it's slow. It's only half an hour's worth of stuff.
mm.
And yeah, you really can't get it wrong.
So someone's just put a big comment up here, and I will put it out there. But of course, anything that anybody says cannot be, there's no doctors here. She's really sorry to butt in and ask, but her 15-month-old grandson died yesterday while sleeping, but was resuscitated. They've said his iron levels are really low. Does anyone have any natural advice I can suggest to my granddaughter to get his levels back up? That's just incredible.
I would speak to an integrative GP. The only thing that comes up is some research I've seen recently that a lot of things that are diagnosed as iron deficiency are actually copper deficiency. So yeah, I would talk to an integrative. They're just better educated. Your
Yeah.
average doctor, unfortunately, does not have an education in herbs and vitamins and minerals, and so that's not their education. They're
Mm.
educated in illness and the appropriate drugs or surgery or whatever for that
Pharmaceutical.
illness.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world. So, although there's the occasional one that's done a bit of extra work, the majority that I know that started out at GPs got so frustrated with no change going on in their office,
Mm.
they were prepared to go off and do another 4 to 6 years and become a functional doctor. Now
Yeah.
they've got all of that, and they've really got a hell of a lot of science behind them as well. So that's
Yeah,
quite
because
interesting too.
that's horrendous. I mean, thank goodness they managed to resusc him.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would
terrible.
too. It's worth it because they're a little bit more expensive, but just he's a baby. Yeah. Um, so yes, this stuff's incredible, and it's so nice for you to pass it on. You know, are you staying? You're staying where you are to keep going, keep learning. For now, he's a bit
Um,
addicted, aren't you?
I am addicted, but I can do it anywhere. So
Mm.
whether I'm here or not, I'm not sure. I'm back in Melbourne for a couple of weeks in October. So I'm
October.
doing at this point one workshop, but it might be two if there's enough people that need to do the chair version. But I can do the
Mm.
two in the same room. Um, yeah, and then my intention would be to come back every 3 to 4 months and
Yeah.
upgrade people.
Mm.
But as far as staying in Bali, I could, and there's other places to adventure. It's like when
Mm.
I'm going to do the body work part of the human garage stuff. I'm going to continue to journey with them because
Mm.
it's phenomenal stuff. And they're very in alignment with how I feel, which is I felt for a long time our job was to teach people to heal themselves, and that's how they feel. But
Mm.
they are backing it. They literally want to teach 1 billion people to heal themselves. And so the
Wow.
idea of opening up the coaching program that I'm part of it is to have people like me helping you start on that journey. You know, and some personalities will stay with a teacher, and others will learn enough to start using it themselves.
Yeah.
And that's,
Oh,
but
that's
that's what's happened
fantastic.
with yoga. Yeah.
You know, I must tell, there's a woman, I can't remember her name now. Anyway, she does have cancer. I had her on earlier, and she's been trying a very different way of dealing with it. I'm gonna tell her about it as well, just to come and, not saying you
Well,
she
look, I think that cancer. Am I an expert? No, I had fourth stage
yeah.
dysplasia at one stage and I cleared that. Then my aunt, as you know, was who lived in Newton John, so I was always
Mm,
involved with the cancer centre. So, and my mum died of cancer, so my dad
mm.
got through.
Oh,
I really strongly believe there's an emotional component. Um, you know, really cause. And yes, you can deep dive into the cells and so on, and you'll find this bacteria and that and all this stuff. And all of those things are helpful, but it's multi-pronged. Olivia herself, you know, she learnt meditation and was religious about it. She worked with Louise Hay and focused on positive thinking because it was,
mm,
you know, she believed, and she's right, it was terribly important. She thought that superfoods and so on were really important
mm,
in the healing process. So it was always multi pronged. And the only reason she got involved with the hospital was if they were in agreement of creating a wellness centre that, you know, did music therapy and art and all sorts
yeah.
of things, that ways that people could express themselves and heal on every
Mm.
level that's necessary.
So she follows your brother Charlie. Wow. So yeah, I mean, so you can. So there may have been something. Who knows? You can't judge. It's what it was. That's her story, and because I always remember that she was incredibly healthy and into health stuff and everything.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, and look, this is not to say, okay, this is not to say, like, I'm incredibly healthy, okay,
yeah,
and
yeah,
into
yeah,
health
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And yet, um, at one stage, because I told you I went to Mexico and I did Ibogaine.
yeah.
And what I realized there, when I'm surrounded by people who've got PTSD or addiction, I realized that I had an addiction too, and I was addicted to being a health nut,
Right.
and in a good way, but you know, a health
Mm,
nut. And it was a way to try and control myself and my environment to make it easier and more palatable and whatever. It wasn't necessarily self-love. And yeah, I'm not
mm,
judging that part, but it's just been so interesting discovering that, you know, at the ripe old age of 65, I actually understand what self-love is. That's so much
mm,
easier to have boundaries, to put myself first. I spent a lifetime not doing that naturally. And I think that that's a huge doorway to health. But
yeah.
I also think that this unwinding and letting go is a way to release the stories without necessarily talking about them. You don't necessarily have to do the deep dive. You know, I feel like that when you go into therapy, and I've done plenty of it,
Mm,
and you're talking about this stuff that hurt you, you never feel good while you're talking about it. And the reason for that is that you are recreating the cells, the energy of that moment. So you're not letting it go.
mm,
You know,
mm.
it's, you know, it's continuously rehatching. A lot of creatives use their pain as fuel for their art,
Yeah.
but I wonder how many of them, you know, also have health issues around that because they're literally holding the story. Or maybe it's a coping mechanism for the story being held. But for me, it was a
That's very
really
interesting.
interesting
Mm.
realization.
Very interesting. Yeah, I can absolutely connect up, relate to what you just said then. I won't go into details, but I just want to and then feeling like it go and come back. But when I was actually feeling all the same feelings and talking the same talk, I started to feel all this tiredness and like emotions and stuff that I've been in, and it's like, no, that's a past part, and it's now I'm here. So do you feel like, I'm just going to say, with yourself, that you've been this controller, and are you sort of getting rid of that a bit and feeling like,
I
well, I'm
think
allowed
it's
to be.
I think it's gone. I
Mm,
think it for me, and I think I think it's just a case of learning to put myself first. It's just
yeah,
so interesting that it, it's no longer I'm going to concentrate on that. Like I'm on this particular diet, or
mm,
I'm going to
yeah,
make myself meditate for 20 minutes every single day or whatever.
yeah,
The difference is now I'm living life and I'm going, oh, I did that differently. And it's really interesting that, just things
yeah. You're
evolve
actually
differently. And
accepting.
I'm observant of the
Yeah.
fact that I've changed without trying to make myself change.
And accepting that everyone's got whatever. We're not these robots.
Well, when you
So
start
we
to
can.
get that with yourself, you have a hell of a lot more patience and less judgment with other people. It is true
Mm,
that this whole love and acceptance thing starts with self.
yes, 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 yes. Just go. That the one with the grandchild, he had none. You mean like he had no iron? For some reason the GP talked them into 7 months to take some jab to do with Uh, oh, at 7 months, they talked him into
At
having a jab
7.
to meningitis. Sadly, my granddaughter wasn't speaking to us at the time, and we had no idea till she told us. Um, anyway, so they think it might be a jab injury, but that's so that I would like what Fiona said earlier. Just take him to an integrated doctor. What do we call it? Yeah. So they're just talking about iron and things here. Um, it's exciting. It's exciting. Well, I think it's bizarre and it's sad, but it is exciting when you get so far into your life to really find yourself, you know.
Mhm.
Um, Perhaps that is the way. That is just the journey, you know. Seeing most
I
people
don't
do.
think I don't think it's sad. Um, I just think timing is really interesting, and
Mm,
when you are not in alignment with the pack, and you judge yourself from there,
yeah,
that can feel sad. But
yeah.
when you
I've never
are
done that.
kind
I've
of,
never. No.
yeah, exactly. So from the perspective of realizing you're quirky as hell,
Mm. Or
and
you just.
embracing that, and then you find more quirky people.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
all good. Yeah.
Shilajit, yes, I've heard of. I want to get some of that. I'm actually going to be working up. He hasn't got back to me yet. I'm going to call him today. So, a guy that sells all this stuff, Shilajit, castor oil, blah blah blah. Because to keep Earthworm Woman going, which I'd like to, if I can get products on here and people buy them through me, or not through me, but I get a tiny percentage of sales. So, um, Shilajit's, and I don't know what it is, but it sounds good,
Oh,
and I know it's got lots of good stuff.
it's kind of like a resin, but it comes out of the earth. So it's
Mm,
very sort of tar-like, and it's got, I think, even more than 84 minerals. But
mm,
you just want to be really careful with source because it can have some minerals and stuff that you don't necessarily want in your system. So go on a bit of a deep dive.
mm,
But my integrative GP, who's also a very good friend of mine, takes it and
mm.
recommends it. So it's got to be good.
So
But
what's the how would
some
you know if
people
it was a
take
bad one?
chili.
Sorry.
I'd research. I'd go into, do the, I'd Google, and I don't know whether I like Google in particular, but any one
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
those things,
Yes.
and talk about the brand and see what people are
Brave.
saying on Trustpilot and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And what does
But
it do
some
if
people
it's
take
not a good
Irish
one?
moss. Some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
take
yeah,
Irish
yeah.
moss for the same reason.
Mm,
So there isn't. I don't think there's. anything on the planet that there's only one thing that is of any good to you, right? In fact, I'm becoming quite clear that every culture had exactly the medicine they needed.
Mm,
So, I get to Bali and I want silica. Of course, there's no silica. You can't get diatomaceous earth in Bali.
mm.
Or, you have to get it flown in and so on. So it's not that easy. And so I go, okay, so silica. And then I Google silica in Bali. Where would I get it? Well, it turns out bamboo is also 70% silica. Now,
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't found it in tablet
Yeah.
form yet, but bamboo sprouts would work, but that only
Mm.
happens sometime a year. So then you might end up with silica drops to fill in gaps. Um,
What do
but
you
yeah,
have the
every
silica
culture.
for? That's to do with the what you
It's
were talking
healing
about
my
earlier.
it's healing my fascia, and it's interesting
Right.
because now I've got my diatomaceous earth, because last time I went to Melbourne I was able to pick it up. So I started
Mm.
off with half a teaspoon, and now I'm up to a teaspoon a day, and put it into, spread it out over drinks. I don't get constipated from it, which is great. Um,
Got
Skin
some in the cupboard.
firming, hair stronger, noticing elasticity coming back in, which is interesting at 65, because you do get conned into thinking, oh well, I'm older, therefore certain things are normal. Well,
Mm.
I don't think they're normal. Anyway, so I do
Doesn't have
notice
to be.
quite a
Yeah.
strong improvement.
Yeah, right. Oh, just one quick question. When you said, you can have a bad Shilajit, what would be the reaction that would mean it's not good?
I
Symptoms, you
just
know?
think it might have. I remember reading it, okay, but
Yeah.
it's not so much a reaction, but I do think there are some heavy metals that too much of
Okay.
can not be appropriate. So,
Ah, okay.
and
Yes.
there are people, because this is something that's dug up. So there are
Mm.
people and places that are more responsible than others. So
Mhm.
just go on a bit of a dive, you'll find out.
Yeah. So the guy who's, got, grasses of life, and apparently Barbara O'Neill buys her castor oil through him, so he's up in the
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast, and he's got
Oh,
lots of different things, so I'm looking forward to that. And I've got some of that earth in the cupboard, and I always think, "What do you do with it?" And I must start doing that one as well.
have you got any?
Uh,
You've got dogs, haven't you? You got one
yes,
dog or? Okay,
2,
so get a
yes.
bit of diatomaceous earth on your hand, rub it through their hair.
Mm,
No fleas.
mm,
Um, so put a little bit in their water, and it's really good for them too. Or help silica. They have silica
mm,
too. Their connective
mm.
tissue is 70% silica as well. And dogs are get famous because we can feed them a bit inappropriately, but they sort of get human diseases. So bit of human supplementation can't hurt.
Yeah, I remember sticking it in their food, well, ages ago. Maybe it was a cat, I can't remember. But yeah, they don't have fleas, but I would still do that just in case I
Mm.
can't find them. But yeah, um, so there's lots of interesting things in the comments which will come up on the later on. Sugar is like molasses. Ancients
Mm.
used to mix sulfur, molasses, fulvic acid. I've just run out. Oh, all these bloody weirdo things, isn't it? But I just think we're being hit by so much over here. I don't know. Do you see the chemtrails and all of that over there?
No. It's
Oh,
not
really?
here, but over there
No.
it was rife. No, it does
Mm.
not appear to be here. That's
No.
about 5G towers bloody everywhere. So,
Really?
it's not perfect. Oh, yeah. They're heavily into their technology. So, yeah,
Mm.
there's lots of that. I've got my phone on 4G, and I try to remember to put it on airplane mode when you're home, and it will work off the Wi-Fi and you won't get zapped as much. But
Right.
you
I've
can
stay on
only,
4G as well. I'm back in the dark ages as well.
yeah. It's okay. I'm slow. It can be slow. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my other thing's 5G. So I'm really sorry about the beginning of this show. I don't know what happened then because I sent you exactly the same thing. Is there
Darling,
anything
I
else you
was
want to? Yeah.
I was in a waiting room. I
Yeah.
was there.
Because yeah, I know. Michael told me, and
Mhm.
so you must have been in another waiting room. Maybe I did send you the wrong thing by accident. So,
That's all right.
what Fiona's, bringing here is so it's really positive stuff. So anyone wants to join her Zoom classes, even though they're called classes, they don't sound like you said. They're not really majorly physical and whatever, but they're for an individual body. Yeah,
Mhm.
an individual
And
person.
I work with people online. It's surprisingly effective, but this course I've been doing has been online too, and it's amazing.
Mm.
And I will be back in October doing workshops in Melbourne. So at a place called Centre for You, um, which is very cool in South Yarra.
Oh, okay. Centre for you. Okay, because I was asking about my class, but I don't think that would be appropriate anyway. It's just a bit busy, and I think you need something a bit.
Oh, these people are great.
Mm.
They will promote the whole thing, and
Mm.
all. And I of course I want to share with my crew, but be nice to share with
Oh,
people I don't
excellent.
know. Yeah.
Well, when we get closer to October, which will be ages away, we can talk about it again. And
Mhm.
yeah, great. That's really good. I'd love to come and see that. Um, so anyone got any more recently bought activated silk from Barbara O'Neill? Okay, activated.
Yeah, it
Someone
just
was
means
talking about yeah.
activated just means it's easier to digest, to work with your body. So I'm sure it's good.
Mm.
But I think when it comes down to it, diatomaceous earth is the best because it's also an anti-parasitic. It's also it's got so many health benefits, even for your hormones and strengthening your bones and your hair. So not just the qualities of silica itself, but there's other qualities of the earth, so, healing your gut, taking down inflammation, and it's
Wow.
cheap. I mean, I
How
bought half a kilo for $20.
wow.
So
And how
at
do
a
you take
teaspoon a
it?
day.
Do you stick
I
it in your
No, I take a teaspoon and I'll throw it into a cup of tea or coffee or a milkshake or whatever.
okay.
I don't have
And you don't
milk,
really
but it
taste it. Yeah. Just a teaspoon a
works.
day.
Yeah. Well, you can work up. You can
Mm.
you can use it as part of a parasite cleanse and work up to a tablespoon, but you don't have to do it on that level forever.
Mm. So there's the old parasite question thing again. We
Mm.
talk about that so much because, you know, they say just do so you do it for a period, then you have to stop. Um, but
Look,
then,
I'm not an expert on this, and so don't
mm,
quote me. But
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
me, I kind of live in a constant state of detox, just a consciousness of it. So I literally have ivermectin and fenbendazole, and I
Mm,
will take both of them for 3 days or something,
yeah,
every so often. But when I first got diagnosed with Hashimoto's, my theory was first detox, right? So first there's heavy
mm,
metals.
mm,
So I did that. That was a big one.
mm,
And then got an amalgam taken out of my mouth and then look at deficiencies. And so I filled in all the gaps on deficiencies. Particularly, I take 30,000 units of D2K3 every
mm,
day, even though I
mm,
live in the sun. And that's because when they look at the blood and the blood levels. Well, we actually need the D in the cells. We need it for 300 things in the body or 200 things in the body, and so
yeah.
apparently it takes like a year to get the D levels up to what it needs to be for everything. Anyway, look, I am feeling so
No,
damn good.
yeah,
So
no. I'm
whatever I'm
I'm
doing is
I'm
working.
I'm kind of with you. I do the same thing, just chuck a bit of this green spirulina, chlorella, all that stuff on my food. Cayenne pepper, Celtic salt, whatever. Just always like that, and I'll just go, okay, magnesium, you have to have that, and blah blah blah. But I've got those other things in the cupboard, so I'm going to probably add them.
Look,
And I was having fulvic.
you need the D, dead set need the D.
Mm,
Um, if you're going to take D, it has to be taken with K. And I still see
Oh.
health food stores selling D without K. Well, it can't be utilized properly without the K.
Mm.
Then with that, you must have magnesium and zinc. If you don't have magnesium and zinc, it can't be utilized properly. So
Ah.
whether that's in the morning, night, or lunchtime, those ones need to be together.
So you need all
And
of that together.
you need all of that.
K2,
So
D2. Yeah.
yeah, so you'll find,
Mm.
I've noticed on eBay that, since practitioners have been saying you got to take all of these together,
Yes.
that some people are actually making them all in one lot, which is helpful. But yes, it's really not helpful to tell you that you've got to take vitamin D. First of all, the dose they tell you to take is way too low.
Yeah.
And second, you've got to have these other components for it to work. It's like turmeric.
Yes.
Turmeric, you have to have
Gotta
pepper
have the
with it.
pepper.
Otherwise, you only
Yeah.
get this much benefit from it instead of this much. So,
Yeah.
they need to tell you the combinations. They
The
don't.
mix, because I never knew about the D thing. Absolutely. I know I've got some D drops, D3
Yeah,
drops.
so to make
Mm.
up for it, so you don't waste that, you can
Mm.
probably buy K as a separate thing.
Yeah.
But once that's gone, you buy it together.
Put it
So
together.
I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, I buy these American ones, and it's got 300 in a pack.
Mm.
But because I'm taking 3 a day, it'll last me 3 months. So
Yeah. Well, if you don't like tablets, Sharon, sorry, I don't know. Open them up, pour them into something,
yeah. Or these
crush
ones
them.
are tiny. They're tiny little gel ones. Um, they're not,
Mm.
I don't like anything big to swallow either.
Yes, wild oregano. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to let Fiona go and myself because I need to stretch. So I'm crouched on my chair. Um,
Hey,
uh,
I want to
and
do a class with you online, so let's organize that.
yes, absolutely. Well, I'm going to be there on Friday as well, so we can talk about that.
Okay.
My thing at the moment is always time. Things are changing, and I have to start working again now, doing anything because I have to pay the rent. Yeah, and I'm looking to get one of the plays back up. But yes, time is just the thing. But you're 2 hours behind us, so it could be to absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Fiona, and thank
You
you
are
everybody
welcome.
for
Thank you.
coming on. And I'll play the end because we didn't get some reason the beginning didn't happen, but I'll see you all next week. Actually, yeah, there's no Thursday because I have a job. Actually, maybe I'll play my thing now, or
Mhm.
if it works. No, let's end the stream. Okay. All the best. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Yes, looking at me. End the stream. Sorry.
But wait, can you hear our children crying? They're calling from all over this land. They're glaring at today's page.